All right, let's jump into running backs tier 3. Some of the big names on this list. Joe Mixon, running back 12 overall. He's just in front of James Cook, Josh Jacobs, now Green Bay Packer, Rashad White and Alvin Kamara. I think it's poetic that they are side by side. A couple of PPR merchants, and then Kenneth Walker. Then my man, much forgotten James Conner, who we'll get into in a second. But let's start off, Matthew, with Alvin Kamara. Will the PPR scam continue in 2024?
I think it will. I mean, I think what's really interesting about Tier 3 is you've got, for the most part, a lot of guys that may not be the, quote, sexiest name, but all have really big volume opportunities here. With Alvin Kamara, like, Kendra Miller is going to start on the physically unable to perform list. And, like, I don't know, like, if you can read between the lines, like, I feel like Dennis Allen hates Kendra Miller.
Really?
With like a fiery passion.
Damn near said it.
I mean, right?
He about to say I hate. He almost said I hate him. I felt like he was about to say that. Like he was just sure to say that.
I mean, like I feel like, you know, Dennis Allen is just. Anyway, it's not going well for Kendra Miller in New Orleans, and Jamal Williams obviously did not have a great year last year as well. So Alvin Kamara again, not great, but we expect this offense hopefully to be slightly better, at least slightly better under Clint Kubiak. Maybe even a lot better, but we definitely think it'll be at least slightly better. And we think there's less target competition. Kamara's going to get a massive workload. Like, he ain't great, but like he's going to be again a PPR cheat code.
And think about it, personnel-wise, what has really changed with this offense? Nothing.
They lost Michael Thomas. That's a change.
And that was a couple years ago. Look, he 86 targets, 75 receptions, right? Both of those numbers are only the 5th best in his career. Like, this dude is used to getting 100 targets, 80 catches with Drew Brees, right? So to have these numbers and finish as RB3 on a points per game basis, he will be, he'll be doing that again.
Can we go back to the Stephen? Can we go back to the rankings page real quickly? The Tier 3 rankings page here. I just want to point something out real quick here as we look at the numbers from Alvin Kamara. So look at Josh Jacobs there at number 14. These graphics were built before the news yesterday that came out, which are two things. Number one, A.J. Dillon going to IR. His season is over. Unfortunately, we feel hate to see that. But also Marshawn Lloyd is currently banged up. So I think the concern was that Marshawn Lloyd's going to eat into him, and A.J. Dillon's going to still get a handful of touches, and so the Packers running back room is now at the moment Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson. Like, that's the list. And if you look closely at the contract that Josh Jacobs signed, it's like a 4-year deal and the big money, blah 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 blah. This is the only year that's actually guaranteed. His guaranteed money is only for this year. So I think there is a scenario, a very likely scenario, where Josh Jacobs once again gets 350 touches this year, and they ride him into the ground, Lawrence, and like
career year, baby.
I mean, just a massive workload for Josh Jacobs. So I just wanted to point that out. That I think when my rankings update comes out, he'll be a little bit higher based on the news. That again, like he literally now has Emmanuel Wilson's a guy.
Yeah, the Packers were a top 5 offense last year. They have a solid offensive line. He is unopposed in the backfield, and they should be in scoring position a ton. And he won the rushing title 2 years ago. We'll get to those odds for this season in the third block. But let's go to Kenneth Walker, Lawrence, who a couple years ago finished second in Offensive Rookie of the Year. Was defined by these massive 70-yard runs. A little bit of an underwhelming season last year, but the preseason camp hype has been huge on him. Are you buying into Kenneth Walker, or are you a bit afraid of Zach Charbonnet?
I'm still concerned about Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker, only 3 times last season he played above 70% of the snaps. In those games, still he was RB20 on a points per game basis. So, like you said, he's going to give you those big runs. He'll give you the big games here and there. But like Zach Charbonnet, I feel like will get more run than Tyler Algier will to Bijan Robinson. And that's where any concern would lie for me.
See, I disagree with that. I have a lot of Charbonnet this year, and I hope you're right, but I think I think you're not going to be, because everything I keep hearing out of Seattle camp, they love Ken Walker, and they're going to make him the guy, that they want him to be a bell cow here. New coaching staff, obviously, with Mike McDonald and Ryan Grubb. And so Walker, who's a nice pass catcher, they just didn't use him that way a lot, but he's been fairly efficient and good as a pass catcher when he's gotten that opportunity. I think he's a bell cow this year, and I think he's got a shot at a huge year. If they commit to that workload, because he's got that kind of talent.
If he's getting 20 touches a game, well then, yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. Yeah, for sure.
All right, another potential bell cow as we round out Tier 3 is James Conner, who I don't think anyone noticed last year. When he played, he was third in the NFL in rushing yards per game. People sleeping on James Conner again, Matthew.
Each of his 3 seasons in Arizona, he's finished as a top 15 running back on a points-per-game basis. We've got Kyler Murray, we've got Trey McBride, we've got Marvin Harrison Jr. This is going to be a better offense. Like, no one is excited to draft James Conner. Everyone's just like, again, they just, it's snoozy, it's Arizona, he blah, blah, blah. Like, he's just, but you're going to look up, he's going to have another top 15 season and not cost you that at all. He continues to be incredibly undervalued. He was on the love list for a reason. Again, it's not a sexy pick, but it is a value pick every single draft. He always goes way too late. 1 of 4 running backs over the last 3 years. There's only 4 running backs in the NFL, and he's one of them, to have at least 1,000 yards from scrimmage and at least 8 touchdowns each of the last 3 seasons.
Yep, perennially underrated. All right, the RotoWorld Fantasy Football Draft Guide is now available exclusively through a new partnership with Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life. Get a Fantasy Life Plus subscription and receive the RotoWorld Draft Guide plus fantasy, DFS, and betting tools to help you dominate the draft all season long. Use promo code ROTO10 for 10% off. Go to NBCSports.com/fantasylife to learn more.
Whatever you play in, you can customize your ranks. You play in a 3 wide receiver with tight end premium scoring, 2 quarterbacks. Like, you can do that. You play point per first down. Whatever your custom scoring is, you can sync your league into it and get custom ranks for your league, and not only for the draft, but throughout the season. We spent over a year building this tool. Not we, because I'm not, but I hired really smart people, and they did it, and the tool is amazing. People just absolutely love it. It's been great to get all the notes saying, like, thank you so much. You crushed my draft for me.
Okay, we're going to hit our first break. When we come back, we'll hit running back tiers 4 and 5 and some late round targets.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.